Hey everyone, Insuffy here, and today I have a bunch of blister packs for us to go over. We're going to be doing some OP13, some OP14, EBO4, and I just threw in a couple little of these Sword Art Online Unit Arenas, also made by Bandai, just kind of little funsies in there, kind of tossed them in as a little bonus. Not a ton of cards were open today, but a good little amount. And then in addition to that, let's talk about the state of One Piece TCG, because let's be honest, there's been more news, more talk, more stuff going on with One Piece in the last like 2 months, give or take, than I think since the thing started. So we need to talk about it a little bit. I got a lot of notes I want to go over and talk about, so we're going to go through that. We're going to go through packs while we're kind of do that. Let's have a conversation and let's talk about what is going on with One Piece. And you may be updated, you may know, but I just tried to, put everything together to make it nice and easy. So stick around and hope you enjoy. All right, so let's get on to this. The One Piece with pricing and the state of everything. Yeah, guys, and gals, it's crazy. It's crazy right now. I know there's lots of market watch videos that seems to be very popular right now. There's a lot of, people just showing, what each box and cards and, what to look out for. And there's all these investor videos coming out. I mean, it is a lot. There's a lot coming out right now, and it's gotten nutty, and I think kind of good. I'm not trying to be negative, but it's a lot of information. And so I watched hours and hours and hours of content so I could try to smash it up in a little ball and just give you the nitty gritty about what's going on without going far in depth, without showing you TCG player, going through all the pricing, without fact checking, showing you all the fact checking I did. Listen, this is just stuff that I watched. It's my opinion on what I've seen and what's going on and what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing and what I'm thinking. So we're going to go through that, and then we'll go through some packs. But to kind of culminate, we're going to start with this Sword Art Online. I'm going to talk wide open. What really kind of happened first, from what I was able to observe, I think it was kind of like a two-pronged catalyst at the same time. I kind of feel initially we had a wave of, it was mid-November. And I watched videos on this. I watched people showing the videos where, and by the way, real quick, Union Arena, really nice. It's also made by Bandai. If you love the animes that are in there, these cards are pretty cool. Their cards, I think, need work because they're just like screenshots, and only like the special cards look like actual cards they made. You'll see. So, but anyhow, the first kind of catalyst was that a lot of the Pokemon people about mid-November were coming over. A lot of investors coming over. They saw an opportunity, as most investors do, right? And they started buying a lot of One Piece TCG product. I'm sure a lot of you heard that, right? That's nothing new. We've heard that, but it came out in mid-November. And I watched this one influencer show videos on, oh, I got an action point. That's kind of cool. I haven't got one of these yet. I like this. This is nice. It's not like a fancy looking one, but this is cool. You see what I mean? Only like the last card at the end actually looks like something interesting. The rest of them are just kind of like screenshots. But mid-November they come in, they're buying out a ton of stuff, and the investors are kind of creating like, some influx of issues there with pricing. And the influencer I was talking that was showing some videos, he showed like the analytics to show like you can see like almost everything single product in Pokemon go down about mid-November. Almost every single one, almost every single product mid-November in Pokemon went down. And that's about when One Piece started coming up. So you can see that direct correlation, and if you go through TCG Player and you look at it, you can see that for not every single set, but for a lot of sets. And so Pokemon's going down, One Piece is going up. So initially that looks like Pokemon investors coming over to One Piece. That's what it looked like there, right? And then you add on top of that right around that same time you have people trying to buy all their Christmas gifts, right? Like last year around the same time, the prices didn't get nearly as crazy as this, obviously, but they did get up there a little bit, and they got up there a little bit primarily because of the anniversary set of OP09, and because it was the holidays. So you got the holidays coming in, and people are trying to buy product for like their family and stuff like that, their kids, their significant others. That, you know, it's the biggest holiday in like the world. I mean, like, it really is. And so, you know, around that time, you're gonna have crazy pricing. So that spiked up a bunch of stuff. I thought that was the last one. Ooh. Oh, nice. This is great. This is a Star Plus. You can see like the R Plus there, so it's like an alternate art. This is really cool. Leafa, the Earth Goddess. So you can see here like the Union Arena. It's also made by Bandai, and their cards are really cool. So if you like these anime and you're looking for something to collect, because you know it's really annoying right now with One Piece, I'm just saying, I've kind of been looking at these, and they are really cool. They are really cool. If you're not into the anime, you may not be able to connect with it, obviously, but if you like the anime, this may be something really neat to kind of like look at and collect. So you've got this like, you know, those catalysts coming together. Then in addition to that, you have OP13, right? This anniversary set, which, you know, to be honest with you, Bandai, why are you launching anniversary sets? You know, I understand that that's around your anniversary time, but at the same time, you can't like postpone it till after the holidays. You know, that's a time of the year when things are gonna get nutty. We're gonna save the OP14 for last, so we're gonna go into 13. So I just feel like the anniversary sets maybe should be like postponed or moved to like a different timetable, because launching it right around Christmas and the end of the year, it's just, you know, if you can't meet demand and you know you have supply issues, which Bandai's had for a long time, then don't launch really big sets around Christmas. Like, come on, man, what are you doing? So you kind of have to like really like this three-prong attack with, you know, these Pokemon investors coming over mid-November. And then you've got like OP13, this massive set being super hyped, which is arguably probably the best set that they've done yet. And then on top of that, you've got, you know, Christmas and the holidays, and you got a lot of people, you know, buying stuff for family, friends, and all that stuff, which is just making everything so much more worse, you know. And part of that too is like, you know, Bandai has not done a good job with their supply. They've had supply issues. They have not met demand. I know that, like, you know, certain waves of product I've seen in store, but like look at like EBO2, I think I wasn't around for EBO1, but you know, some of these sets, like even PRB2, you know, I'm not seeing a lot of it anywhere. Stores don't have it. Like, once it was gone, it was gone. I never saw it come back in my local game store. I only could see it online, either TCG Player or on eBay. So, you know, it's very, the supply's always been kind of a problem. You have a lot of people buying cases and holding them. I've watched videos on people that have like 15, 20, 30 cases of, you know, product just sitting in their garage or something. These people that have a lot of money. You know, you always had those people in One Piece, but now you have them on a elevated level. There's a lot more of them now because a lot of the Pokemon people now coming over. So it's just creating this really big bubble. So that was kind of like really like some initial catalysts that kind of happened. And you know, one of the things that came out of that recently, and I know some of these things may be like a little out of order, so just excuse me, but like one of the things that came out of that recently was that, you know, if you didn't see, like on Reddit, apparently like the investors, if they're investing in One Piece, they're no longer allowed to be a part of the actual One Piece TCG, like official on Reddit. So there was like this Reddit battle, I guess, going on. I joined the page, but I don't really follow anything in there. This is really, I mean, guys, look at this. Oh my goodness, that was so stuck. And I guess there was like this online drama. This was like more recent, and that was going on. So people are trying to block out investors, which I don't know. I mean, I understand the feels, because I feel the same way. Like, I don't invest, I just collect. You know, I have a little bit of sealed product, but nothing crazy. And you know, like, but at the same time, like, you do need investors, you need collectors, and you need players. You need a nice balance between them. And they're all good for each other. They're all good. Ooh, this is a hit. I gotta pause for a second, guys. This is I'm on OP13, right? Because I'm talking so much. Here we go. What is it? What is this hit? What do we got here? Oh, okay. We've got the Shanks alternate art. This is nice. Look at this. Looks very shiny. I like it's a young Shanks here. Very shiny. I don't know if you guys noticed, I actually got a new light that I put like right behind my camera. So you should be seeing things a little shinier now. This is really, really cool. Wow. I like this card. I mean, it's not like super 3D or anything, but the artwork on it's really, really nice. But anyhow, so you have this like Reddit battle going on, and you know, I just think it's not aimed at the right people. I mean, yeah, some of these investors, no, let's be honest, they kind of suck if they're got a ton of money and they're buying stuff out. But hey, that is what it is, you know. This one got really bent. So I got these at Walmart. This one was kind of crazy. I got really lucky. Saw a whole bunch there. I grabbed some, went to another one, saw some, grabbed some. So that was cool. You know, so that's kind of been a whole thing going on Reddit. So you've got the drama coming out of that stuff too. So, you know, it's unfortunate because I don't think that anybody in the One Piece, if you really love One Piece and you want, whether you want to invest or collect or whatever, I don't care. Hey, come on over, welcome. You know, it is what it is. You know, like honestly, our frustration should really be aimed at Bandai. Because, you know, here's the thing that you got to realize. I mean, when I watched a lot of the videos on YouTube and people that have been around One Piece longer than me, I've been around for a little over a year now, and some of the people that have been from the beginning, and people that were in like previous Bandai TCGs. You know, look, this got the Monet and the Foxy. It's a nice Foxy SR though, surprisingly. And by the way, if we get a leader pack, leader packs are no longer dead packs, which I think is actually really cool. I'm excited about that. So, you know, we got to aim it really honestly at Bandai. We should be frustrated with Bandai, you know, because Bandai is not really, as far as I've seen, they're not saying anything. They're not saying, hey, we're going to like do some more printing, or we apologize. We know the supply is low. We know we're not meeting demand. We know haven't really met the demand all year. So, like, you know, and we're going to be looking at some strategies, and we'll keep our, you know, fans updated, and we really appreciate you being part of this, you know, TCG and community. They're just not saying anything. Unless they've done something over the last, like, day or two, and I missed it, there's nothing out there. So, and it's a shame because there's a real big opportunity for them to acknowledge what is going on and to say, hey, we want to like do something about this. I understand that it's kind of like you have to be really careful, right? Nice Jinbei here. You have to be really careful because you don't want to like, if you overprint like crazy, at least the newer sets, I don't really think it creates a problem. I mean, people want it. People want it, you know, so like let them get it. And if it's newer sets, I mean, come on, guys, who cares? The prices are going to drop, but it is what it is. I think there should be a line. I mean, maybe you don't print some of the older sets. Maybe it's just, you know, the last, like, you know, 5 sets or so. You know, they could find what that line is and just communicate to people, you know, or just say we're at least going to do some printing. I honestly think that every set, just a tiny bit of printing wouldn't hurt, even up till like maybe like 2 or 3 or something, because I mean, if you look at Pokemon does 3, sometimes 4 years of a set. This TCG is not even around for 4 years yet. So, you know, like some printing I don't think would really hurt the TCG. Monkey D. Luffy. Prices would come down. Product availability would become a little bit better. I understand they got to be careful because if they do too much, then you're going to scare away all your investors. So you don't want to do that. So, you know, it is a tightrope they have to walk, but they need to figure it out and they need to say something. They don't have the best track record. They ruined, from my understanding, wasn't a part of it, Dragon Ball. If you're unfamiliar, they also did Dragon Ball TCG. They still have it. From my understanding of it, they had a Dragon Ball TCG, and then they went and they created another TCG within the TCG. So like it was another game within the game, and none of the cards worked for either game, but it was all Dragon Ball. And so all the players, I guess, really got mad because obviously, you know, they had to collect a whole new game to be able to play the newest cards that are coming out. So they destroyed Dragon Ball. They destroyed it. They've killed, like, I think I watched this one video, like 5 or 6 TCGs. They've straight canceled them. So they're not afraid to cancel a TCG if it's not doing well. And they still have like 5 or 6 going. You know, as I showed you, they have Union Arena. They still have Dragon Ball. They have Digimon. They still got other things going on. And I feel like they got to prioritize a little bit, you know. I don't know. They're not saying anything, so it's all speculation. Like, nobody knows, and that's really the biggest problem. Bandai's creating, I would say, most of the issues. Yeah, the Pokebros came over and they caused some supply issues and, you know, big ones. And the problem is we're already so limited. We're already so limited that it was the issue. You know, these guys, if we had better supply and they came over, prices would have gone up, but not as drastically, because there would have been more out there. Man, I'm not doing good on these blisters, am I? So, you know, I just wish Bandai would talk and say what's going on and what they plan on doing. So anyways, that's kind of, you know, going on with that. We also have influencers dropping in like never before. They clearly had a deal, probably set up months prior, with Leonhardt. He did a video. That also created a bunch of hype. And introduced a lot of people to the One Piece TCG, which again isn't a bad thing if there's product to buy at a reasonable price. There is not product to buy at reasonable price right now. I mean, it's all so crazy high. So you know, your everyday person. Ooh, I got a hit. Please be an SP. Oh, I got SEC Crocodile. This is actually a pretty cool SEC, very shiny. It actually has a nice, see all this down here? This is actually all textured. That's actually kind of cool. You can probably see it a little bit, right? This is a nice card. Very shiny. If you're a Crocodile fan, I mean, this is a great card to have. I'm not the biggest fan of Crocodile. I didn't really like him in the show, so, you know, it's whatever to me. But if you like Croc, that's a cool card. The artwork's pretty nice. Pretty cool. So we've gotten 2 hits so far. Listen, I've already gotten 2 hits out of these blisters. I can't be mad, can I? Because, you know, most booster boxes come with an SEC and alternate art. So there you go. I opened half a booster box and already got 2 hits. So if I get a 3rd hit, that's just bonus. So, but you have, you know, you had Leonhardt. They clearly had to deal with him. They gave him a whole case. He pulled, you know, a manga. I think it was a rigged case, personally. I mean, come on. Let's be honest with ourselves here. But you know, he and so created a lot of hype around that. And then just recently, you had what was it? I think it's was Logan Paul. Logan Paul did a video. He bought like 3 cases of One Piece, and now he's talking about One Piece because he said Mr. Beast is talking about One Piece, and there Mr. Beast also talked about One Piece. I have another hit, guys. I didn't know if I was gonna get anything. Oh, I got the other SEC. Is that the only 2 SECs? That's funny. I got 2 SECs. Okay, I'll take it. 3 hits. I'll still take them. It's actually a pretty cool Dracul Mihawk. Dracul Mihawk. I think it's Dracul. It's Dracul, I believe. That's nice texture. These feel more textured than previous SECs. I don't remember the other like previous SECs. Like can you see like all that texture, all the swirls and everything? Like the swirls of the sword, that's all texture. I don't remember SECs having this much texture. Did they up their game on SECs? Okay, sorry, I had to adjust there. But yeah, I got 2 SECs there, which is great. So excited about that. But yeah, you got these influencers coming in, and they're doing videos, and they're creating a lot of content now. So the hype is arguably like it's never been before for One Piece. I mean, the hype is level 10,000. You know, like it's crazy right now. So you know, you have you know, this insane hype. You have, you know, this insane OP13 set that comes out. You've got Christmas. You've got Pokebros coming over and buying up a bunch of product. You know, you have short supply, and you have Bandai arguably doing nothing as far as we know. Mr. Tubon there, SR. And so you've got this just kind of like boiling pot that is just kind of like all mixed together and created straight chaos. And I just you can't find product, and they're just not putting enough in the stores. I'm seeing all the local game stores, they're talking about you know, for OP14, a lot of them are moving away from charging, you know, about MSRP at launch, which is what a lot of stores usually do. They're like, oh, we're gonna be charging $200 or $220 a box. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And limit 1. There's just, it's crazy. Bandai has to do better. They have to figure this out. Because if they don't, it's just going to be this giant question mark. Another SR. I'm getting a lot of SRs, guys. Rosinante and Law. If they can't figure this out, we're going to be in trouble. It is what it is. You know, they've killed 5 or 6 TCGs before. They have a really bad reputation. You know, they have multiple other TCGs that they're also still focused on, as far as we know. And I would assume their priority is One Piece right now. I would assume. But again, they're not talking. So we don't officially know. And the big question mark that they're leaving is leaving a lot of people with uncertainty and fear and FOMO and all these things mixing in, and just creating this giant confusion for the TCG. A couple rares there at the end. So, you know, it's interesting times. Interesting times. I'm having a lot of fun opening these. Let me grab a couple more blisters real quick. I'm gonna grab these other 3. I'm gonna grab these other 3 that I got here and go ahead and open these up as well. But yeah, it's kind of like chaos right now with One Piece. Let's just call it is what it is. I knew this set was gonna be crazy, and you know, to add on to it, as you can see, it's OP14-EBO4. So you have the first half of EBO4 in here, and you have all of OP14. They're doing it so they can catch us up to Japanese. So, you know, so you got these crazy mixed sets coming out. There's just a lot going on. There's a lot going on, you know, and you got season 2 of the live action for One Piece coming up. You know, and it's going to be launching later this soon. I think in a few months, right? I think that's March or something. That'll be coming out. So there's just a lot with One Piece. I mean, One Piece is hot right now. Okay, it's fire hot right now. So you know, and product is at an all-time low find, all-time low. And the local game stores are claiming, I've seen some videos that they've talked to their LGSs. I talked to my LGSs. Sounds like not a lot. They're not getting a lot of this product. They're just not. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like they're not getting a lot of this product, which is obviously not a good thing. What do we got here? Oh, I thought this was like a hit just because the art fell off here, but it's just a Perona SR, which is a beautiful SR. I like this. So it's crazy times. And, you know, I won't lie. It's a little frustrating for me because, you know, it's really hard for me to find product without spending absurd amounts of money. You know, I'm not trying to not be able to pay my mortgage buying cardboard. Like these boxes are like $500-600 a box. You know, if you think about it, if I'm doing 4 videos a month, I'm supposed to do $2 grand in videos a month, and maybe if I'm lucky, I get a couple $100 in cards. It's a little nonsensical right now. So we will see. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping things get a little bit better and everything kind of cools off. I'm not trying to be negative or anything. It's just nutty right now. I just hope Bandai has a plan and hope the plan works because if not, we in trouble. We're gonna be in trouble. And eventually boxes are going to be, you know, this is $90,000 a booster box, and then the TCGs is going to die. Okay, let's just call it is what it is, you know? If you know, and then eventually they'll catch up, but the interest, everyone's just going to be like, no, we can't trust you, Bandai. You screwed this up too bad. That's my fear. So hopefully that doesn't happen. So looking today, I mean, these are kind of the hits we got. I got a Union Arena hit, which is pretty cool. I got Lifa. We got a couple hits here as well. The Shanks alternate art, the Crocodile SEC, and the Dracul Mihawk SEC. So pretty nice there. Not too bad. I'm excited to be able to at least pull something there. Got 3 hits out of a stack of blister packs. Better than some of my blister pack videos, let me tell you. Some of them have been pretty rough. So could have been much worse. With that said, everybody, I know that it can sound a little doom and gloom when it comes to One Piece, but I just kind of wanted to culminate everything together about kind of what's going on, So you can formulate your own opinions and your own ideas. Look around and research like I did. I know I'm not showing you the research. I'm just talking and saying I watched this stuff. So feel free to go out, look for yourself, see what's going on. I'm hopeful though. I still think One Piece is a great IP. I think Bandai just has to kind of, turn things around a little bit. They have to do a better job with their supply and their communication, because I think both those things are not great right now. And that's probably creating the most uncertainty with people that like the game. But from what I've seen from the players don't seem to be too bothered right now. Seems like they mostly just want the alternate art leaders. And so as long as the alternate art leaders don't get crazy, they seem to be okay. Because they're still, all the commons and stuff are still super cheap. So, most players are able to buy the bulk, no problem still. So it sounds like from a player's perspective, it's not too bad. It seems to be mostly okay. Hopefully it stays that way for the players. But I do know some players that, have all dons, and they want like tons of alternate arts in their decks. Those players are probably not the happiest because it's getting a little more pricey. Unless they have a lot of stuff they want to sell, then they're loving life right now. So, the sellers are loving life right now. The people like myself that love to collect and buy, not loving life right now. It's getting too expensive. I gamed the One Piece initially, not just because I love the show. I mean, I do love the show. Been watching the show since I think I don't know when I started. 2016, I think, 2017, somewhere around there. Maybe 2018. I don't know, somewhere around there. But I've been watching the show for a long time. And I love the show. I love the IP. I love One Piece. I love the characters. I think Oda is a genius with the way he writes things and just the, how creative he is with everybody. I just hope that, so I want to collect because I love the art and because I love seeing them, and I love the excitement of being able to get them. And I recorded the videos because I have fun sharing that with people, that excitement, that fun, and being able to do this with people. And it's a fun hobby for me. But, as a buyer and a collector, I'm concerned because, I want to be able to have fun collecting, and I want to be able to buy stuff, but not at crazy prices. I mean, I'm not even talking about the mangas. I've always hunted SPs because I liked SPs because I knew mangas were kind of out of my range. And now the SPs in this set are already like $1,000, $800. And I'm like, I hope that doesn't last because I really like those SPs and I'm not spending thousands of dollars in SPs. Those are manga prices, guys. Come on. SPs are not supposed to be that expensive. That's crazy. So hopefully it comes down to a more reasonable price to where, we can collect things and have fun. They got to find that balance, and it all comes down to supply balance. If they balance out the supply, they don't have to overprint to the moon, but I also don't think it'll kill it. I really don't. I think a lack of printing is going to hurt it more than overprinting. If you look at other TCGs like Pokemon, saw that there was a problem with Prismatic and 151, and they've been printing absurd amounts of it. I mean, I've seen it in my stores, like my Targets and stuff, multiple times. And I bought a couple Prismatic things, so it's like, why not? Because I like Eevee, so that's why I like Prismatic, and I like 151 because I grew up with the old school vintage Pokemon. So those two kind of speak a little bit, not so much any other set. So I grabbed some of those. So it was cool to be able to see that in the stores and be able to buy it without the absurd price. So even though Pokemon prints, they're able to still maintain, their presence and their IP because they're so good at balancing everything. There's always a cutoff time. Every 3 or 4 years they'll stop printing it, and now that set slowly becomes so then that's the time period where the investors can start really enjoying their profits if they bought a bunch of product and they kept it, and then the collectors and the players can really appreciate that set for 3 or 4 years. I think that's sort of what they've been trying to do from what I understand. And One Piece needs to figure out their rhythm. They're not even they just hit 3 years. They're not even a 4-year TCG, and you can't even get any of their products. So, and it's not just this new wave of thing. This new wave of thing made it 100x worse. always been an issue all year long. I've had trouble finding product at stores, at my local game stores everywhere. It's been tough all year long for a lot of sets. There's only been like a few sets that I've seen in the stores, and they're sets that people just haven't really liked because there's nothing really fun to chase into it. Like the OP08 wasn't great. OP07 was you know, OP10, nobody liked OP10. I mean, like some people did. I like some of these SPs in there, and I collected them, but OP10. So some of these sets kind of, you know, were sitting around and you were able to find these, and then now you can't find like anything. You can't find anything. It's crazy. I've gone to like 10 local game stores, and I went to like 5 Targets and 6 Walmart. But it's tough, man. It's tough. If you find stuff out in the wild, it's like hitting the lottery. And in your local game store, you're lucky if they don't make you pay market, which is just going to eat your pocket alive. So hopefully they get this under control, and then we can get to a good spot. Anyhow, appreciate you all. Don't worry about the silly prices. Don't worry about the silly stuff. It will get better, but we're gonna have to wait it out. Gotta ride the wave. People will get bored, people will leave, and hopefully that will get stuff to bounce out, and hopefully Bandai can get some more product, and then we'll see things kind of settle out, and we can go back to ripping a little bit more. Until then, have a great day. Behave. Be good. And as Straw Hat Brother, for those of you that watch him, really great. Go follow him. He's awesome here on YouTube. Biggest art opener on YouTube for One Piece. I like at the end of his videos what he's been saying, so I'm going to say it too because I wholeheartedly agree. Jesus loves you, man. See? All right, for the January giveaway here, you know, we had it all about the fellas last month with the 3 brothers. So I thought I would, you know, do a Nico Robin, one of the ladies up in here, from OP12. First of all, we have her SR, just the basic SR here. No crazy value there, maybe, you know, a couple bucks or something. And then her alternate art to go with that, which is about a $28 card right now. These prices are up and down and all over and crazy all over the place, but you know, so you may be getting $30, $25, $35. You may get $50 value by the time if this keeps going up. I don't know, but this is a really cool card of Nico Robin. If you're a Nico fan, this will be a really cool giveaway. And I think this alternate art of her is just really, really cool from OP12. I think that if you're a Nico fan, it's a must-have. So really, really cool giveaway here. So that'll be the giveaway for the month of January. Next week's my birthday, so we're gonna do a birthday video too as well. I'm trying to think about what I want to open for my birthday. I don't know. I gotta think about that. But everybody, if you want to enter the giveaway, don't forget to type in the word giveaway, and then you got to put a comment, like the video, and then you also have to be a subscriber of the channel. And then each video for the month of January will get you 1 additional entry into the giveaway. All right, everyone, good luck, and I'll see you in the next one.